you probably don't need to ban Bard against Totoro. He actually had some very good Bard games this season. But you know, Key's Bard has a reputation of its own. Does this free up a ban for a Kongdoo Monster team that's already in the prime position? But honestly, if you're going to be going laning focus, if you're going to be locking in Braum, better to have Totoro than Key. So we see a level up in terms of the laning phase, because Loken did say in his interview that 2v2 laning was what really was benefited by having Totoro on the line.
Well, right now, it's going to be the Vladimir and the Varus coming out for Kongdoo Monsters. They're changing things up a bit so far. Bard, Karma, Shen has really been the bans for them the last couple times through. They've banned away the Varus once before, or twice before, but Shen will still come out. So Vladimir, new adaptation to Leah, getting that respect ban away here from Edge, who had a very strong performance on it there in that last game. The Weaver's Walls, very crucial to the success of Kongdoo Monster in Italy yet again. So we'll see what they're going to do for their final ban.
It's going to be Gangplank as a final ban. It is.
Yep. I mean, we could just see another Blind Gnar come out here for Kongdoo, but they're going to take away the Rek'Sai, so good adaptation. Just get that out of the hands of Ares, because it seems like that's just going to be his big comfort champion.
Ares has definitely had the most polarizing performances of this particular series. Really good in Game 2, especially on that Rek'Sai. But one of the champions that does make it through is the Echo that's been permabanned so far this series. Jungle pick for Ares will be interesting. Could again be a return to the Hecarim. The credit to him, he was very good on in the early game. It was just when he got to the late game, that's when the decision-making started to fall away a little bit for Ares.
Well, they could just go ahead and lock this one up. Seems like it's the most likely first grab on the red side here. And Loken, just being the Sivir that he is going to spam through all 4 of these games.
You call him a Sivir but his Jhin has been very, very impressive. Jhin is available. Rek'Sai means that Hecarim is probably not going to come out from Kongdoo, so the safety of the Jhin, while not guaranteed, is at least relatively in a decent spot. But it will be the Sivir lock, like you mentioned.
So they'll come into this one. We'll see what Kongdoo wants to do to answer. You can see the hover over the Yorick. Rework's not out there yet, so.
Won't be hitting competitive patches till Worlds, but there's always the dream that we see something fun. Still been no Alaois in LCK play.
Is he even going to be on competitive play?
No.
I don't think he'll make Worlds.
That's what I think. He's not going to make Worlds.
Yeah.
Won't be till later in the year. Maybe
some
IEMs.
IEMs, yeah, get that. Kespa Cup.
If that does occur this year, hasn't been announced yet, but I've heard rumors that there may be another Kespa Cup. Regardless, Gnar versus Echo is going to be very much the stable matchup.
Just going to opt it back into that one. Roach having some good presence on the Gnar. It was never like a big massive play getting multiple people on the wall, but he was where he needed to be and he was managing his bar fairly well, arriving off the backside of those teleports. So a strong performance for him. Ezreal yet again for Soul. We'll see if he's going to maintain this Trinity Force build or if he's going to opt into an Iceborne Gauntlet, because we see that hover over the Hecarim, so the kite potential might be that much more important here for Kongdoo Monster.
Like we said, Trinity Force does provide some self-kiting, but against Hecarim, a champion that synergizes with movement speed so strongly, I think Iceborne Gauntlet is the safer choice. Ares returns to the Hecarim, and Malzahar is the blind mid lane pick. Certainly one of the more safe choices, especially with Vladimir banned away.
So ESC just keeps doing this, bringing in their support as the last pick. So it's an interesting decision from the side of the squad to not just save that for the last pick and guarantee a counter. But I guess afraid that Edge would just go ahead and lock up this Malzahar for himself yet again.
I mean, there's been an increasing trend to last pick support because it really helps ensure laning phases. Supports are so important in terms of laning power that if you just blind pick a melee support and you're against double range, then you can really lose out in pressure in the 2v2. And nowadays we're at the point where you're taking chip turret damage, rotate a jungler over, and first turret blood is so important that holding last pick just to ensure that you don't get overwhelmed in 2v2 has been very, very important, and a staple so far of competitive play on 650.
All right, well, looks like so we're going to have that Trundle there for a second. Will be Braum in the support role.
And now you can go risky. You can definitely go for a Taric here. Trundle's another option.
Well, I mean, you mentioned this before. Totoro, his Braum, definitely much more prominent than that of Key. So, takeaway as far as they're concerned. So they will get that. Now, the question is, what do they want to lock in? Tarek is something that we have not seen picked up or banned so far in this entire series. It's been a very strong pick for some of the, the more prominent supports here in LCK. Hachani, of course, being one of the big ones that pilots that Tarek.
It's a safe spot to pick the Tarek. Now you know you're against Braum, so a melee support of your own is safe. You never want to take Tarek Sivir early and then end up against, let's say, an Ashe Bard would be a really bad situation. Lucian Bard would be bad. Even Ezreal and Bard would be a problem, but now that you know it's Ezreal and Braum, you can get a bit more frisky, so why not go for the hyper-scaling Tarek that, I mean, the Cosmic Radiance is an insane level of utility in an ultimate, and they will have the Sivir Tarek duo, Sivir Tarek Hecarim. I think that's looking pretty strong for ESCM.
Yeah, they just need to get ahead and get rolling. We saw how good of an early game Ares had earlier on with this Hecarim coming out of the jungle in game 1. So if you can have that repeat performance and really just start stampeding across the map, things can get very shaky for Kongdoo Monster very quickly.
Feels like there's been 3 games in a row of ESC having the teamfight comp, and 2 out of 3 times didn't really come together and be too important. So Kongdoo have been good at playing to their win conditions. Got some good pick options. Lissandra and Gnar is certainly the sort of thing that can really take over the bot lane matchup. We see double teleports in bot lane. There's going to be no safe place for Sivir and Tarek to be.
Yep, so just going to be looking for Soul for that Iceborne Gauntlet. See if he does want to opt into that one instead of the Trinity Force, so he can kite around this Echo, kite around this Hecarim that are so desperately going to be trying to dive onto the back line. As well as Edge coming out with the Lissandra, not a pick that we've seen from him so far. So just going to be bringing this one to the table, trying to lock up that Malzahar. I mean, because Ares dives into the back line with his Hecarim, you frozen tomb him, you can absolutely annihilate him in the early game before you can get those tanky stats in.
Laning matchup not great for the Lissandra, so
not many ones are.
that's true. You don't pick her for lane, but then it's all on the globals. If you don't use the globals, just like we saw the Shen misused in game 1, then you lose out on the pressure there. So let's see. Kongdoo, they've been good in execution. Will they do it again?
All right, well, let's go ahead and find out. Let's see if Kongdoo can close it out right here over ESC, or if ESC can go the distance and push us to game 5. Let's get onto the Rift. All right, here we go. Not sure what the first dragon will be yet. Sure, we'll get a shot over that in the near future so we can see how this is going to shape the early game, whether or not it's going to be a high pressure one. It's going to be an Ocean Drake, so never mind. So we're back to 16 plus minutes before that gets taken.
Don't dwell on your Infernals too long. They are fleeting, Achilles. If we've learned anything from this tournament so far.
Ocean Drake is as good of a dragon as Ocean World is as a water park.
Non-Koreans don't really know that reference, but certainly not the best water park in Korea, so we learned last week.
Yep.
Not a bad one. It still was a fun day.
It was fun until you get to the locker room.
The extreme locker room?
I was not, yeah, it's actually named the extreme locker room. I really
Would you say you had an extreme locker room experience in Korea?
Yes, I did. I wasn't wearing my glasses, thankfully, so it kind of lessened the blow of everything that happened in there, but Koreans are very open, literally, and
the nudity quotient was perhaps quite high for you as an American.
basically I walked into the locker room and it seemed like everybody was in full support of Harambe, let me just put it that way. So it was definitely a little bit of a culture shock for me, but I guess that's just the Korean way.
You haven't even been to the sauna yet, Achilles.
No, I have not.
The nudity only extends.
God forbid when I go to the gym kebab. We'll see how that one transpires, but I think I've met my quota for quite some time, so I can wait to go to the sauna for a bit longer.
Dragon Hill, very close to the Yongsan Stadium where we were before.
That place is just insane. I still haven't been inside of it, but just hearing about everything they have a PC bong inside, so you can just go play video games. There's restaurants, movie theater, or something like that all inside. And this place is just 24 hours. It's about as big as a casino in Vegas.
still remember the story of when then Anarchy, of course, now Afrika Freaks, talked about going to that the night before a match. They went on to win as well, so obviously the team bonding helped a lot.
You can't play together unless you've been naked together. That's the
And that's
motto.
a sports adage right there. I think I've seen that movie, Achilles.
Yeah. It's Friday Night Lights or something. Coach Carter is one of those ones.
One of those rousing speeches about mutual nudity.
Yeah, you know.
We go weird places on this stream, guys.
Yep. This is what I mean. I'm in like the loopy stage right now. With how little sleep I've gotten. Because it's been about 4 hours in the 4 hours within the last 24 hours of sleep. So
Keep it together, Achilles. It might only be one more game.
I'm working on it.
Will we see a kill in the first 15 minutes?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's probably just gonna be a nice old slow game.
When Malzahart's hit 6, there's always the outside chance, but we haven't seen Eris go for one of those creative level 3 ganks.
Well, Fire Trap just gonna ward over by the Gromp, but he's spotted. He'll be fine, but early blue buff over to Edge. He'll be very thankful for that. It'll help alleviate a lot of that pressure in the mid where he's at that deficit in the matchup.
He's out of mana, so
Yeah, these guys just scrapping back and forth, but the heal gonna be there from Totoro. Nice jump away with the Arcane Shift. Will keep Soul alive, but now he's completely out of mana, so he's gonna have to recall.
but Eris is focused on the hard farming that we kind of expected from him in game 1, but was really creative in his pathing, had some good ganks. Held on to the Ghost this game and just been power farming so far has been the horsey.
See how this one's going to unfold and whether or not Fire Trap wants to go for something like that Dark Seal. Started with the Corrupting Potion, so it's pretty inferred that that'll be the desired build path, but also whether or not he's going to go straight for the Triforce, because we've seen a bit of differentiation as far as that goes.
It'd be risky in a range versus melee matchup to go for Trinity Force. You want to apply pressure as Echo. You have the good wave clear to be competitive. But it's going to be Doran's Ring and also the Dark Seal. So very much laning stats for Fire Trap.
So, he's going to kick things off that way, it seems. Team Rush coming out for Punch. As per usual, on the Ruck side, Jungle item will be the secondary. While Ares already going to be opting into that Tracker's Knife to go for the Cinderhulk.
But I don't think anyone's going to be rushing for that completed jungle item. Probably going to be Trinity Force. You already see the Tiamat investment, so...
Just wants to get that ward out. It looks like Edge very well maybe starting with the Abyssal Scepter as he has that Null Magic Mantle in the inventory, so should be seeing that one come out from him.
So the mana management actually really counted against Soul in the bot lane. You might think, okay, it's only tier versus double longsword, it's not a BF sword or something like that, but the big issue is that in the 2v2, if you only get a tier, you have no combat stats. As Ezreal, you kind of want to wait till you have the 1800 gold for 1800-ish gold for tier and Sheen, so you actually have the ability to trade. But because it's only tier, because you had to use his mana on Arcane shifting away from the Dazzle, does mean that really no way for Ezreal to take trades in bot.
Seems like he's keeping up in CS for the time being, so he's got that going for him. Doesn't have to worry about falling further behind Loken.
For now.
For now, it's true. Loken's proven to be pretty good when it comes down to CS. You consider, of course, with that wave clear, it's going to be very easy. Totoro continuously getting some nice dazzles in. A little bit off of that one. Nice flash away from Temp. Lunch could barely make it over the wall before he went ahead and used that, but they got both of the summoners out of the Malzahar and didn't have to invest any of their own.
That was necessary, but Temp with the ultra-conservative play. I find it hard to actually push up and wave clear on the Malzahar with no flash.
Yeah, this could be easy repeat gank for Punch.
That's why it's smart of them. Just Edge can just come be a human ward for the Rek'Sai, and no flash. Malzahar and a jungle Hecarim is free food for a Rek'Sai, so that's why Rek'Sai can do his best Ares impression from game 2.
Yep, taking out the jungle. The Raptors now. Ares goes over to this red buff, but it's not able to be taken yet. Respawning still about 25 seconds out. Now it's going to be the Krugs that he's opting in for. Cougar runs over, sees him. He's going to try to get that. He cuts some blows from Brock. Looks like he's still going to be able to take that Krug with a little issue. Won't really get locked up, so he'll still profit from that, but won't get the red buff, so it looks like it'll just be a double red here for Punch. And he'll move further and further ahead. It's like one of the first times in this series that he's been seriously out farming Ares. Well, up top, oh, the wall not going to connect. Nor is the boulder, so Roach definitely could have come out way ahead on that exchange.
Didn't get the Mega Knight into the wall either, so didn't get that extra damage on the mini stuns.
Oh boy.
Didn't even have to ult.
Getting off that passive. Temp gonna go low, and there it is. First blood coming in for Punch. I think the first time this entire series that Kongdoo Monster has been able to take away a first blood. And that's gonna be a really nice start here for the Rek'Sai. Already has the Tiamat now, a big burst of gold. So he is gonna be wreaking havoc on the Rift. Cougar though, taking a bunch of damage in bot as he gets hit up by that Dazzle. The Boomerang Blade takes him dangerously low. Still has the Flash and Exhaust up though. So he'll be all right, but that's going to send him packing back to the base. Looks like Soul might just accompany him, pick up that Sheen, and start building towards that mana meter.
Attempt using both summoners was punished there in the attempted blue buff transfer. Could have taken Cleanse. That value against the Braum stun, which I guess is pretty unlikely Malzar's going to be hit by, but specifically against Alessandro, we see a lot of laners take Cleanse. The fact that he either fat-fingered or kind of overexpended summoners the first gank meant him was pretty much free food there. So now he's going to have to continue playing defensively, and the flow-on effect to his jungler, remember, he's already in a 20 CS hole in the matchup. If you have map pressure and a Hecarim farming, you're golden, but when you have a lack of map pressure, summoners down, Hecarim's going to get preyed upon, and that's what we're seeing from Punch.
Now, going to be 23 CS up over top of Ares. In such a strong spot, still hasn't gone back to buy anything else yet, so he's going to be sitting on a pretty fat stack of gold.
He's sitting on a Cinderhulk, no doubt. He'll go and straight by that when he backs. You'd have to imagine if he's been out on the Rift this long.
Just get the Titanic Hydra first.
I think you need at least the Tracker's Knife or some evolution of the Machete pre-15 minutes if possible.
We'll see what he wants to opt in for. He's still just making his rounds through the jungle, but
here comes the moment. I guarantee there's a Balmy Cinder.
Let's find out. Could just be a straight full buy. Got rid of the refillable
Waiting
potion.
for it. Waiting for Cinderhulk. No!
Aha!
Wow!
I was right.
That's very aggressive.
All right, so the Titanic Hydra, first completed item for Punch.
Damn, that's pretty manly. A machete and a Titanic Hydra.
Just wielding blades.
I mean, at this point, do you just call one of your laners into the jungle and start pushing? Because that's pretty much all that Titanic Hydra does.
I mean, you can see
he doesn't have boots, so he's not going to be really ganking anyone.
I mean, he's looking for something here. He did spot Temp rotating around that wall, but not able to find any real engage coming in yet again. That's going to be first kill. Yep, knock him up underneath the turret. There it is. A second kill coming in for Punch and Kongdoo Monster as a whole. So really making that Titanic Hydra purchase pay off. Okay, Kongdoo Monster, they're going to be in a really nice advantage here. 2,000 gold, just 11 minutes in.
You really don't expect to be exploded under a turret 10 minutes in, but when Titanic Hydra's the buy, and you've gone for the Lost Chapter, you have no magic resist, that's the punishment available for Kongdoo Monster. So they really want to accelerate and confirm the first slot from the relegations into LCK Spring in this game 4.
Where it really has to be making Temp think, like, maybe I should have opted in for the cleanse instead of going for this Ghost Flash, because it's just another use of a summoner spell where he's not going to get any profit from it, just gets burned out and he goes down at the end.
Has the same cooldown as Ghost after the latest tweaking of summoner spells. Would it have saved him both times? Probably not, but at least one of the two.
Would have made his life considerably easier in this mid lane where he is now suffering quite heavily, 114 to 88 CS as well. So he is just being put in the grave in every aspect imaginable. Edge is just that much closer to finishing his first item. I'm still a little ways away from that Morale-Nomicon.
Turret's starting to fall low. You can see about 50% HP on Kongdoo Monster's turret in bot lane.
As expected, that extended period of time not having that Sheen for Soul, just making it harder for him to make it through the wave. But look at this Punch having a much better game than he has in really the last two.
It's pretty good pathing from Eris. He wants to take the enemy red buff because he knows or expects heavily that his will be gone or almost gone at this point. Pulls in Malzahar as well.
They're still 30 seconds out from this though. So unless they want to just sit in the brush and try to wait for Punch to walk in and bait him out, they're still not going to be able to find a whole lot of ground here for it. Place that'll help clear out the board by the Raptors. There's one more sitting inside of the red pit, but
look at the difference in gold. Remember, Hecarim has that expensive build, and he's about 1,500 gold behind his opponent, who's on for sometimes a luxury item itself in Titanic Hydra as the first purchase.
Yeah, just the Sheen Phage coming in for Ares thus far, so a ways out from being able to, become that big powerhouse centaur that he needs to be. Run over top of somebody like Soul, helicopter on top of him, and work him down very quickly.
And it's worth noting that you can't compare this Hecarim to the Hecarim we saw in Game 1. It's the same player, it's the same team, so you're like, why? He doesn't have a Shen in his back pocket. He doesn't have 850 bonus effective health at level 16. He's got basically the sum total of the items, and because he's behind on a damage build, he will literally explode. He'll have some decent burst, but there's not going to be any helicoptering. He's going to die instantly, so either they lead with the Malzahar, they go on a low health target, or they will get very little value out of this Hecarim. There's no Karma even to provide the shields. Karma and Shen are really the best friends for a Hecarim jungle rushing Trinity Force, which has been the staple in LCK. Honestly, this feels like a game where if he can take back a couple of these items, send a Hulk into tank like the jungle Hecarims in LPL might be a better idea for Ares.
I mean, you mentioned the Karma not being there, but that was actually one of the picks that made it through in this draft as well. It was permaban by Kongdoo Monster in the first 3 games. Makes it through here and opted to not be picked up by ESC. I mean, on the Hunt used down bot, but nothing really going to come of that.
You just have to track ESC's draft. They have consistently taken scaling and late game team fighting picks at every opportunity. Shen, Vladimir, Sivir. Shen, Vladimir, Sivir wherever possible. They're plugging and playing the Taric here, very much the late game support. They could have gone for Karma. They left their support to last pick, and Karma would have helped the jungle. Now, it doesn't help as much as a mid Karma because your shields are the second max, but it gives you options. Ares looking for a dive. He has to teleport.
TP coming in on the backside. Dazzle connects onto Cougar. Logan gets popped up and almost taken down. It's going to be the Cosmic Radiance. No, it doesn't come in time to save his life. Edge is going to find the first kill. Roach into the backside, gets the wallop in onto Ares. Will be able to take him down with one more hit. There it is. 2 picked up for Kongdoo Monster. Make that 3 as Fire Trap goes down after taking out Soul. They're not able to get Totoro, but they should be able to get the tower here, which gives them that first brick gold. And Kongdoo Monster are just running away with this game 15 minutes in.
I mean, ESC are just over pursuing. They had a ward in the first rush. They knew Hecarim was coming in. That's why the teleport was so early from Roach. Game 1, teleports were late. Teleport right on time from Roach. Cosmic Radiance doesn't arm. It would have given Sivir 2.5 seconds more to attack, so it might have been another kill over to ESC ever. And even though ESC has some nice snapbacks from Fire Trap, many different ways they are punished, and suddenly the gold lead is starting to get there for Kongdoo Monster.
That it is. So they didn't actually take the tower. Looked like they had the potential to, but didn't opt everybody into finishing that one off. So the first brick gold is still available, but they at least made the HP on those bottom tier 1 towers a bit more even. That being said, 5-1 in favor of Kongdoo Monster, going to be up 3.3 thousand gold. So if they can get that first brick, stretch that even further.
You just have to do your due diligence, Achilles. If you don't have a pink ward in that rush, if you don't know for sure, as a Hecarim, you're walking in unseen, you're against Lissandra Gnar. You don't have a teleport in your mid lane. Lissandra Gnar are about the most punishing duo when it comes to teleporting to bottom lane, and they just made it obvious and got punished. So the math checks out for Kongdoo Monster, but I expect more from ESC and kind of opted into their own demise.
Yep. Well, now Kongdoo going to be in a good spot here. See the Manamune completed out for Soul, so going to be stacking towards that Muramana. Had a very fast build with the Trinity Force and the Muramana last game. Had both completed in about 24 minutes. See if he's able to replicate that. Also still need to see if he's going to be going for that Iceborne Gauntlet or for the Trinity Force. So some ambiguity still there. But now Kongdoo Monster going to start up this Ocean Drake. Take out our first one at the 17.5 minute mark. We'll see what we get after that.
Yeah, 2 Drake spawns in the previous game. At least it's pre-20, so we have a chance for the third. First is Ocean.
It's going to be another Ocean.
The most consequential Drake for this game.
Probably just going to be another one of those games where you have triple Ocean.
Say life's a beach, Achilles.
It is indeed. It's all right. Kongdoo monster though. We'll be able to take that tower finally and get that first brick. So this is going to be a nice little boost for them, and Soul will be able to take complete possession of that.
So
by himself.
650 gold. It's the most payoff. I remember, so I used to play, I played League since just after beta ended, and I remember when bounties got up to 1,000 bonus gold.
Oh God.
At the most, that was after obviously a really big killing spree. But 650 gold feels like the good old days when you get bounties that large.
Yeah, I mean, what's the highest that you can get now is 560 something in Howling Abyss.
That's right. I actually don't 100% know.
It's like 562 or 560.
I forget that Howling Abyss exists, Achilles.
Yeah, a lot of people do. I want a trivia question, and I want some prize. I forget, like an RP card or something, like a LAN or something, because I said 560. They're like, no, it's 500. I was like, it's Howling Abyss. You didn't specify which game mode.
Too clever for your own good, Achilles.
Technically right. It's the best kind. But things have slowed down a bit. ESC don't want to hemorrhage any more objectives or kills.
Everyone's getting a Trinity Force. It's going to be Trinity Force Ezreal again, so, you know, game one, the previous game, Iceborne Gauntlet seemed like the money choice against Yasuo, but went for the Trinity Force, and here, again, against Hecarim, melee carries in general get really slowed down or really shut down by an Iceborne Gauntlet purchase, but Trinity Force, similar kiting. You're not slowing the enemy down, you're speeding yourself up and more damage, so that's just the adage that Soul has taken, and so far so good.
Yep, well, Kongdoo grouping up around this mid lane, but so is ESC, and they know this, so they're going to go ahead and peel back. Themselves safe, and it looks like Soul's just going to continue to push up into that bottom lane because he's got adequate vision coverage through the jungle here. So he can be perfectly safe to go ahead and shove up a little bit closer towards that tier 2.
So Wolfbang has always been one of the favorite duo names. I think Roach Punch is pretty good too, Achilles.
Roach Punch?
Yep, that's the top lane jungle duo.
Does that like you punch roaches, or you have like roaches attached to your fists and you punch people with those?
Yes.
Okay.
Wherever your mind takes you, Achilles.
All right. Roach Punch, gotcha.
It's hard to beat Wolfbang, but Roach Punch is up.
Yeah, this. Because I haven't really thought about it.
I mean, Lock and Key is another famous one.
Yeah, that one's kind of going down the drain right now, though.
Yeah. Even ESC didn't want that.
Yeah, it's the Loken and Totoro show. Just sounds like a Disney Channel like animated series.
Sounds like a, you know, like in the days of like rip-off shows, it would definitely be like a rip-off of Lilo and Stitch. Loken and
Lilo?
Key. Loken and Totoro. Lilo and Stitch, sorry. I actually never saw that movie.
You haven't seen a lot of movies, Pops.
I've seen a lot of Disney movies, though.
Okay. Still haven't seen a lot of really good movies.
That's true, I haven't seen Finding Nemo. At some point, it's impressive I've avoided some movies. Independence Day.
It's like depressingly impressive.
Hey,
like,
you take impressive whatever you can get.
It's just
a feat is still a feat.
Sure, tell that to the world's biggest idiot.
At least he's the best at something.
I mean, he'll be so stupid that he'll be like, "Oh, thank you." Like, no, not a compliment.
But if he doesn't know it's a backhanded compliment, then is it a compliment? If he doesn't have the capability to know that he's being insulted, then he's only going to register it as a compliment.
Yeah, so he's an idiot.
It sounds like his quality of life is not really impacted by that, though.
I don't know. Whatever. You might have just created a paradox around.
What's the sound of one hand clapping, Achilles? You got nothing.
You're right. I don't have anything. I just can't. I don't even know what that would be. I guess there is nothing.
ESC
Well,
doesn't
you can
have...
clap against your chest. That would make a noise.
I think tapping by definition is 2 hands, though, I think.
You can clap things. Well, yeah. I'm gonna say clap things together, but that's usually implying 2 things. Huh. Yeah. Well, I guess it's just not a clap.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we can give more analysis about what registers as a clap.
Would you like me to focus on the League of Legends game?
No, I was gonna say like then what is going on in this league game because there's just really not a whole lot of anything.
Oh!
From downtown.
Man, that was almost like the exact geographic quadrant furthest away from the red buff.
That was pretty damn smooth there by Soul. And Aries, you gotta be pretty tilted in this game.
He knows this feel. He was doing the same thing to Punch when he was on Rek's side in game 2, but it feels so good to receive it yourself.
Yep. The bully getting bullied.
Sweet justice.
Yeah. It's another good movie. Bully.
Game 2.
I actually never played that one.
It was really good.
I played most other Rockstar games, but I never did play Bully.
It's on Steam. The PC version's not great, but it's okay.
I think I actually own a copy of it, but I just have never played or installed it. I have 276 games in my Steam library now.
You have 276 problems, Achilles.
Yes. It's very much a problem.
But a packed Steam library ain't one.
Deus Ex, the latest one that I just added. I haven't played it yet, though. I need to get around to that.
I know Monty's been eyeing that as well.
Yeah, he's a pretty big Deus Ex fan. I really liked Human Revolution. It's very good. I don't really remember much about the earlier Deus Ex games. I should buy those on Steam.
The first one's a classic of all time.
So, yeah, I'll have to play back through those. It's been forever, so I'll have to give those ones another shot. But Human Revolution was quite nice. But microtransactions in the new one.
Microtransactions in my video games, never Achilles.
Yep. We don't like those.
Damn, Trinity Force Mirror Mana. He's gonna die to this.
Yeah, he's still got clipped by that. He's gonna take a lot of damage, has the heal to barely keep him alive. And Soul, probably just gonna, he's got a wave coming in fast enough. There's nobody else here to answer this. They'll just get this tower, but man, good posturing forward, almost finding that solo kill against Loken.
I mean, the single kill on Soul is the only thing preventing this from being a perfect game so far. Be all 3 outer turrets down after rotating top. Roach has got the pressure in bot lane. Things going really well for Kongdoo Monster, and they're looking for more picks.
He's sitting in there, but the Scrying Orb will spot him out. Roach, he's going to get jumped on. Don't think he's going to make it out of this one alive. Flashes away. Onslaught Shadows will follow, and Aries finds the kill. And meanwhile, the rest of Kongdoo move up top. Good block by Googer there with the Unbreakable. They'll find themselves that tier 2 tower. Edge is waiting over the wall, just in case he had to come through the Glacial Path and try to lock somebody down. So they lose the top laner, but they're still going to net more in the end. And they're looking at a near 10,000 gold lead right now, just 26 minutes in.
That's why they can invest in some of these utility items, double QSS on Lissandra and Ezreal respectively.
Flash forward, they get the Dazzle onto Edge. Glacial Path comes through, straight into the Zonias. He's going to be all right on the hunt pop. And the Cosmic Radiance are going to try to dive this one, but he's just going to frozen juke himself. And now flash away. And the rest of Kongdoo arriving. Aries taking a little bit of damage there from the turret. Punch pushing forward. Not going to be able to lock anybody down. And actually, Kongdoo going to be losing their tier 1 and bottom. So ESC, at least with Fire Trap, making a good little call on the bottom side. But some gold back, but they're still quite a deficit.
How many ults does it take to take down a QSS Lissandra as flash up? Answer is certainly a lot of them. And even though they're very clear that this is in pink vision, they're going to go for that Baron.
Yeah, more ultimates than are available to them in the game. But
they know those ults are still down, Achilles.
Yeah, this is going to be the Baron dropping to about half HP. Onslaught of Shadows is almost up for Aries. Won't have enough time to really get in here. It's still going to be confirmed by Punch. They find this one. Aries going low. True Shot Barrage swings through him. He has to retreat. Fire Trap still trying to sit up into the front. Has the snap back available. Hasn't used it yet. Edge threatening with the Glacial Path. Now stuck in the back of the pit. Doesn't have his flash there. Logan not able to get in for any of these auto attacks. He's trying to get the ricochets. Punch going to go forward. It's exhausted out, but Soul jumps in. Gets the kill coming through it. 2 kills picked up now by Kongdoo Monster. Punch not going to die. And that is going to be a 4-for-0 plus the Baron. Kongdoo playing that perfectly.
Kongdoo just made the smartest Baron play I've seen in months. The fact that they knew, they just saw all the ults be wasted on Lissandra, and they're like, they can't steal this now. They had to goal keep the Hecarim a little bit, but in every other way, super smart, super clean. They pick up all the kills. We're not ready to quite welcome them to LCK, but better have that invitation ready because the golden ticket is right there for Kongdoo Monster.
That it is. Inhibitor line being broken at 28 minutes. The earliest that we've seen, I'm pretty sure, in the entire promotion tournament thus far. Kongdoo Monster are just running away with this game and completely stomping ESC out.
We saw Koma sitting next to Wolf in the crowd, between games, and we joked about things to learn from Kongdoo Monster. I think every team that played in the playoff could learn a thing or two about Baron control because the clean take of that Baron, the fact that they knew the cooldowns were down, took it. It's a level above stuff we saw even in the LCK final.
I mean, Spedo is going to be sitting back at home watching this game going, oh, well, that's how you, oh, okay. Yeah, we messed up.
What happens when you watch that VOD back, CJ Antis versus Spedo as Spedo, and you're like, Gangplank was free farm.
You know that gif of Koma where he smacks himself on the forehead? You just replay that. Is pretty much what happens, because that was one of the worst calls that we've seen in quite some time.
One of the most amusing, though.
Oh, for sure. That was great. The almost pentakill coming through.
You know that like impending car crash thing? Like Monty definitely, both of you, I'm sure, were watching that being like, this is going to go real bad. And spectacularly bad it did.
It's basically like, it was like watching one of those dash cam videos from Russia. Like you just know some crazy stuff's about to happen, but you're not necessarily certain what. And then, lo and behold, there it is. Like everything just goes face up.
Well, this is a sick trade. They're trading their inhibitor turret.
Oh, tier 1. That's all right. This is calculated by ESC, so they lose their second inhibitor in the bottom lane. And Kongdoo Monster are going to be happy with that one. They'll back off, and they really could just go. Wow, it really was Triple Ocean Drake yet again.
Yeah.
I wasn't even paying attention to it, but it's Triple Ocean Drake yet again. So they can go ahead and pick that up for themselves, and they will truly just be unkillable.
Triple QSS doing their best KT roster at Kongdoo Monster. Getting those early to stop the Malzahar having any target selection. 0, 3, and 0, so certainly not too much to worry about the power from that mid lane pick. And yeah, Triple Ocean now means that they back away, they regen full, mana regen, and health regen there is almost a donation on the red buff.
Wasn't quite able to hand it off. What can you say? Roach isn't as good as giving away red buffs as Aries is.
There's still something to strive for, I guess. His leashing skills not as good.
Again, somebody's got to be the best at everything.
Wow, I mean, Kongdoo Monster have been great this series. All 3 victories in different ways. This one has certainly been up there with the Varus game in terms of execution, and we didn't come to the relegation tournament expecting execution in many games, and that was vindicated in certainly some average, long, extended games. But when Kongdoo Monster is playing their game, they look great doing it.
Yep, now they're going to be looking to break this third and final inhibitor tower. Parallel conversions thrown out by Fire Trap, trying to zone them off as best as they possibly can. It's going to be Aries jumping forward, gets popped up. Cosmic Radiance is there trying to keep him alive. They're actually able to find Cougar. Roach goes in, knocks Fire Trap back. He's going to snap back with the ultimate, however, keep himself alive. Now Roach has to hop out to safety. Kongdoo Monster taking a little bit too much damage to really stick around here. They might still just wait for the next wave. Super Creeps now pushing in onto the Nexus Towers, and Loken is going to have to answer for those. So that is going to bring them an opportunity to push forward yet again and try to finish off this third. Roach coming back in with the TP. Edge goes in deep, drops the Frozen Tube down onto himself, trying to slow up as many members as he can, but he's really only going to find Fire Trap. Now Punch going into the back line, putting a lot of damage down onto the Sivir, not able to find the kill.
Soul.
It's going to be Totoro, has to flash away, but Aries is still stuck up in the front. He gets taken out. Temp, one more hit will do it. There he is. He goes down, double knock up as Punch goes into the fountain. finds the kills. Logan falls. Totoro, the last one alive. And in 32 minutes, Kongdoo Monster knocking down the Nexus turrets. They are going to be able to take out ESC, send them into the losers match on Saturday to square off against CJ Entis, and they earn their way back into the LCK.
That's mean the spirit of Najin returns to LCK as well. Great promotion series from Kongdoo. They looked great. They were easily the most impressive team of the four, and now they've confirmed that spot at the 2017 tournament. And you have to think 2017 spring holds so much more promise now that they've had a year to get their roster together than the hastily slapped together roster that looked like no hopers in 2016 spring. ESC Ever are not eliminated. There will be one more best of 5 to decide the 10th and final spot at LCK spring. That will be in 2 days' time as ESC Ever face off against CJN.
That is going to be a bit of a tough matchup. We don't know what the roster is going to be like from CJ. We can guess that, yeah, that's true. We can guess that it's probably going to be Sky and Shy in the top lane. And of course, Haru and Kramer and Mad Life coming in the rest of the roster, but we don't know what's going to happen with ESC. Decided to stick Fire Trap in at all 4 games rather than putting in Crazy, rather than putting in Bless. Granted, Ares, don't think he was really the issue here in this set. But overall, the macro play from ESC just seemed a bit lacking, and Kongdoo Monster, they turned on and they just stayed on the entire time.
But ESC Ever potentially do have those pocket aces, Achilles, because Bless is a good jungler. Sure, he's had some issues, but he's certainly got some different strings to his bow than Ares does, and there's a chance he'll play. And then Crazy was part of the team that took down, I believe it was CJ Entis in the first series. So who's to say, or Speno, I believe, so who's to say what the lineup will be for either team? There's a lot of room. Hell, Ghost could play. That would be crazy, but there's the chance for it.
Certainly is. Well, you can see it right there on your screen. Those 3 wins bring Kongdoo Monster back into LCK for spring 2017, so still have plenty more time to get ready and prepare as we are a ways away from that split happening. Still have the entire World Championship to go through, plus all of that extra spicy off-season drama that I'm sure will be brewed up. But these guys definitely look like a team that could fight in contention against squads like MVP and Longzhu, who have had their ups and downs, but have relatively been looking stronger by the end of the summer split. So Kongdoo looking pretty strong there. Now we're going to get ready to have a couple words, as we do have an interview today with our winners, so we're going to throw over to Joel for the translation.
Thank you very much, guys. We're here with Kongdoo Monsters, who have secured their spot in the 2017 LCK spring season. And we will have an interview with the entire team to talk to them about their promotion. Give them a round of applause. Congratulations on your win, guys. Can you give us a comment on the win?
지금 또 감정이 또 이거 감성 눈물에 그랬어요. 나가나요? 나가야 괜찮은데.
I was fine earlier, but starting to get a little emotional now.
네. 4개월 동안
You know, for 4 months we went through a lot, being in the secondary division.
수밖에 없는 것 같습니다.
And we really worked really hard. I really want you guys to know that.
이브 리그의 롤 챌린저스에서 정말 어려운 경기도 많았었거든요. 그런데 이렇게
And he was right. There has been a lot of tough matches for Kongdoo Monsters in the Challengers series.
아설 선수가 보시기에도 감독님이 이렇게 평소에도 좀
Well, how do you feel? The head coach is crying right now. Have you seen him like this before?
됐다가 다시 올라오니까.
그렇죠.
I think he's really happy, and I really understand his feeling right now.
보여주고 있는 경력이 그리고 스토리가 마치 진짜 소년 만화인 것 같다.
And I think really what Kongdoo Monster is showing us right now with your current level of play is really impressive.
진짜 굉장하다고 느끼고 있습니다. 어떻게 이렇게 많이 변했죠? 어떻게
How
이렇게
have you guys
엄청나게
changed so much
이유가
since the
있었던
last
거죠?
time we saw you in LCK?
좀 초반에는
네.
저희가 이제 팀워크가 잘 안 맞기도
Well, in the
했고,
early stages, I noticed that our teamwork was really one of the weak points of our team.
이제 팀 운영면으로도 같이
And with team management and all the related aspects, we try to manage it and try to improve on that. And that really helped us a lot as a team.
그걸 발견할 수 있는
And just being able to, spot our weak points and just trying to improve on that is what we were really trying to do.
맞습니다. 네, 감독님 좀 긴장이 되셨나요?
Coach, are you still alright from that?
그리고 또 콩두가 역사와 전통이 있는 팀이다 보니까
And with Kongdoo, it has a long history with back in the Najin days.
위크 선수도 모습도 왔었고.
And you've seen Wolf in the audience cheering guys on.
락스 친구들도 정말 와가지고
Yeah, and you said that, and with the Rocks, the people from Rocks coming out to cheer for us, we were really thankful for that, and they really always just to come to us and cheer us on, and we're really thankful for that.
엄청 많이 해줬어요. 그래서 저희가 더 열심히
And I think we should really take that and use that to be a better team and become something more representative to those old players that we had.
진짜 감동의 스토리가 아닌가 이런 생각이 드네요. 지난 승강전 때는 두려움이 있었지만 이번
You mentioned that in the last promotions that you guys had fear coming into the promotions, and now you are filled with confidence. What was the stage that got you guys to that point?
일단 팀원들끼리 신뢰를 갖게 만드는
Well, with the teammates that we had, we always try to make our players trust each other a little more, and really trusting each other's plays and allowing them to freely do what we want for the team. And although that we might seem lackluster in the exterior plays, but with key players really taking the role of calling the shots and really helping organize the team all together, it really did help us develop as a team. The representative player of Kongdoo Monsters sitting in here right now,
굉장하다고 생각을 했어요.
and we really thought your individual performance was outstanding today.
궁금한데요.
And what are your future plans for your plays?
초반에 왔을 때는 좀 약간 말이 별로 없어가지고
예.
In the early stages, we didn't have a lot of communications within the team of telling each other what to do.
면에서도 많이 알아가가지고
But we really noticed that, and we were trying to improve on that talk a little more.
잘 해줘가지고 좀
And our teammates did a really great job of just communicating with each other a lot more, which helped us throughout the game.
상대 오늘 ESC전에서 가장 두려운 게 템트라고 하셨었는데.
And you mentioned that the most feared opposition in ESC ever was Temp today. And did you really try to ban out in consideration of Temp? Yeah, we really try to consider Temps when we were doing the pick and ban phase, and we were trying to limit the kind of the champion pool that Temp can play on in mid lane. And we try to just use the leftover space to get the other secondary bans that we needed to get off.
된 것 같습니다. 자 그러면 마지막으로 지금 응원을
Lastly, we want to
진짜 뿌듯하실 것 같아요.
tell the fans, we want you to tell the fans how appreciative you are for them to come over here in this promotion round,
승강전을 뚫은
and just tell them how great you feel at the moment to the fans.
저희가 강등되고도 좀 힘들었는데
After being relegated to the second division, we were just really trying to work really hard to get back into the stage, and we just thank the fans for always continue to support us no matter what.
까먹어가지고 아이가 다음 질문이 까먹어가지고
예, 별로 신경 안 쓰셔도 됩니다.
저도 그냥
한마디만 해도 될까요?
Can I say one word?
그러니까 박 감독님이랑 약속을 했을 때 저희가 이제 첫 2차전을 붙었잖아요.
네.
We met in the
누가 내려가더라도
second match, and we always talk to each other, said no matter who goes to the second division, no matter who makes it to challengers, that
눈물 없이 볼 수 없는 매치
no matter what the position may be, that we always have to try hard, and wherever we are, just trying to become a better team. And we really want to tell all the coaches that the future is bright for all of you guys.
네, 알겠습니다. 진짜 이제 토요일 최종전도 그만큼 또 기대가 되는 것 같아요.
And we'll be expecting the final match on Saturday. And that seems to be the end of the interview. Back over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Joel, for the translation as always. Yeah, bright future indeed, it would seem, from Kongdoo Monster. Very strong performance here. As I mentioned before going into the interview, I really think that at the current state, from what we last saw of teams like Longzhu, like MVP, maybe even generic Green Wings and Afrika Freaks, I think that this Kongdoo Monster could very well square off against those teams and have some success. So we have to wait until spring to find that out, but for the time being, we know what our final two teams are going to be on Saturday. It's ESC versus CJ Entus. There can be only one. The winner of that best of 5 will stay in the LCK, and the loser, well, they go back into the Challenger Series, someplace that CJ can't say that they've been.
Yeah, CJ Entus, one best of 5 to preserve their legacy. It's been a long time since they were one of the top forces, but won't be the same league without them. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will be supporting them, but ESC ever? Will it be the same lineup? What will they show? There's definitely a world where ESC sends CJ down to Challenger. So congrats, Kongdoo Monster. Big season for them.
Yeah, well, they can focus on getting prepped for spring, have some time to do that. But we're going to be going off for today. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back again on Saturday, same time, 1 p.m. in Korea for that final best of 5. And we'll see if history gets made and if CJ will be knocked out of the LCK. So thank you guys so much for watching today, and we'll see you then.